Pinnacle Real Estate Group presents The Key Turners with hosts Ryan and Matthew. Key turns agents need to turn more keys. On today's episode, Ryan and Matthew will be focusing on marketing and networking, the starter kit. Now, without further ado, let's listen in.
All right. We're back for another episode. Thank you for tuning in. You are now listening to Pinnacle Real Estate Group presents The Key Turners with your hosts, Ryan and Matthew. For those of you that are tuning in for the first time, this podcast focuses in on key turns that agents need to turn more keys. How are you today, Ryan?
I got my morning coffee. I'm doing well.
Hey, doing well. I can't say anything about the quality of the coffee. You pull your shots at home, your fresh espresso, but I still don't get how you can be so mindful and craftful to do all that then still go get McDonald's coffee sometimes.
Hey, Daisy got it for me. I can only say I'm very appreciative of her.
Yeah, no, it was very generous. Black coffee from McDonald's, occasionally okay. The candy coffee though, for all the mixed drinks, that too sweet for my liking. I have too many teeth problems. I got a root canal coming up, so I got to be very careful about the sugary intakes. All right, let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about marketing, and we're going to be specifically talking about our marketing starter kit, right? So this actually will be beneficial to any new agents, any new entrepreneurs, or any agents that are actually joining a new brokerage. There's going to be a lot of overlay that's going to be helpful, I think, to all three of those demographics. And we're going to break it up into two sections. The first section is going to be networking and in person. And the second section is going to be networking, but digitally. So for the first section, networking in person is another way you can call that is traditional networking, right? And you're marketing yourself in these aspects.
The tried and true method.
Yeah, and there's no substitute for being present in person, right? So let's unpack this a little bit. You're going out to an event. The one thing, the easiest entry-level marketing purchase that you should make to get started in any new business cards.
Yes.
And there's pros and cons to the paper business card. Depending on who you talk to, some people are going to be a big advocate of this. Other people are going to think it's old and outdated. And we'll talk more about what other opportunities or other advancements there are. But let's focus in on the actual paper card. Where this thing will still reign true is in a person-to-person situation, you have something to hand off. You have that transaction to partake in. And when you're exchanging business cards, it actually feels like a mutual service, a mutual microservice back and forth. You talk to someone, you make a contact, you trade information. Now, I used to have a mentor who always say, the fortune's in the follow-up, right? You can go to these business mixers and go to these events, go to these expos, network out, but it means nothing if you do not follow up. You can collect 20 business cards, and if you don't make one phone call, what was the point of it?
I agree. Well, it's still one super essential part of especially real estate agents. For example, if you go to an open house with your clients, I've seen a lot of agents actually collect them into a little pile that if you have hosting an open house, you have all these agents that come over to brought their clients, and then they leave their business cards, because some people do write in sign-in sheets, and also a lot of listing agents don't even provide a sign-in sheet. So it's actually a very, very easy method and super accessible method for you to leave your information with that listing agent so they can follow up with you, or you can get their business card, which usually are in a little pile right next to their open house flyers. You can get, it's pretty much the default method of currently, the real estate agent.
And it's such
practices.
a nominal fee, right? You're spending like maybe $50 for a pack of a few hundred cards. Like, there's no justification as to why you don't at least have that. Now, it does require a little bit of planning, because chances are, if you're starting a new business, you may not want to put your immediate cell phone number on there. You may want a secondary line or a Google Voice line, or
that's
if you're
using
a CRM and they provide a phone number to mask your original phone number. getting a professional email account, right? That's also a prerequisite to having a good business card. And there's some variations that you can do. I know here at Pinnacle, we offer the opportunity to put a number of QR codes leading to websites or chat groups or chat contacts, I should say. So there's other opportunities there. How you can customize it. If you're going to get a professional headshot, we mentioned that in a different episode. The value of this, if you have a professional headshot, you can go ahead and put that on your business card. And that's one of the ways that you're also helping to establish credibility in brand recognition if you're an entrepreneur, sole proprietor, independent contractor, because you are providing the services directly and it's an engagement. Now, I will say this. Your picture must look like you. I know we went on a tangent with this other episode, so I won't harp on it here, but making sure that your pictures are updated. So if you have the business card, you already made that commitment to your business to market yourself, at least on this single item platform that you'll be able to distribute out. What type of events would a new entrepreneur in real estate want to be or can attend?
Well, now you have the physical material to go market yourself, to go networking a little bit. Well, there's some events you should go look at. That is, let's break it down a little bit. So the hyper local ones will be your associations in your close vicinities.
Sure.
In the aspect of real estate, such as board of realtors. That's one easy one to go to, because that's where you can first get some education done. Second, listen to some of the panels, listen to some of the classes that the industry leaders or active industry members can teach you regarding news trends, updates, regarding regulation changes and forecasts, and even market changes, because they're on the forefront of it. They probably have some first-hand experiences of it. You, as a new agent, could probably learn a thing or two from them by simply just talking with them, right?
And so when you're going out to these events, you're around other agents, but you can still market with them because you don't know what opportunities can come of it, right?
Exactly.
Assisting with open houses, maybe even finding a co-listing if you guys share a client, pairing clients, right?
Yes, there's a little bit of a misconception. Well, I wouldn't call it a misconception, but there's a bit of an impression that if you're a realtor or if you're a real estate agent, everybody else that is a realtor or a real estate agent is a competitor. It's not necessarily true, but they can help you along the way quite a bit by just simply sharing some of their past experiences with you.
Yeah, and it also depends on the culture, right? So here at Pinnacle, we're very agent-centric, so we're very prideful about how we share resources, right? How we share open house listings, how we share, we try to provide mentorship for your first transactions with the company, things like that. So we do want to make sure that our agents are playing well together, but we want to cultivate that culture specifically. And for the collaborative aspects, that is a good question to ask the board. If you're looking to join a board, ask them what the culture is like. If you're looking to join a brokerage, ask them what the culture is like, and ask them how well the agents play together, or if it's hyper competitive. Some brokers, some boards, maybe have that culture that where it's not as forthcoming to share. But honestly, specifically to the boards, they're trying to help all agents.
Yeah, they're there to educate. They're there to service you as a industry professional.
So you want to make sure you do your homework and see what board that you would have a compatibility with, but it means nothing if you don't go to those events. It means nothing if you don't have a business card to hand out or collect, right? You have to be prepared to get out there, put your name out there. No secret agents, right?
Yep, no secret agents.
But also, too, I've seen, some of the board organizations, even recently, they do charitable events.
Yep.
Right. So these are other places that these are other opportunities, I should say, that it's going to get you before the community.
I'm actually a member of an NPO as well. And it's actually a good opportunity for real estate agents to participate in these NPOs as well, because first of all, they are their goal is giving back to the communities. They're not there to make a profit off of you, and they provide you as a real estate agent, as a real estate professional, some marketing and networking experience, opportunities as well. And if anything, it gives you a chance to connect with industries that is associated with real estate. For example, a lot of these NPOs have sponsorship from banks, from mortgage brokers, from mortgage lenders. And you, as a real estate agent, when you are servicing a buyer, could very possibly have a client that in need of these services. So once you go to these events, you get connected with a lot of resources such as those. You can basically pass on to these resources to your clients too. That helps you to better serve your future clients as well.
Yeah, well, even one of the recent events, or a holiday event, right? We did a collab, and we had the fire truck. We had the fire department come out.
Oh yeah,
right. So firefighters, police, they have their specific credit union sometimes that they get special rates or financing through for if they're looking to buy a home or house. But those are all prospective clients, or maybe they're looking to sell. Those are all prospective clients that you can even network in with the people hosting the event, with the people coming to the event.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
But how do you really network with them if you don't have a business card or you don't have the dreaded elevator pitch ready to go? Dun dun dun. Right. So nobody likes to talk about elevator pitches because everyone gets so embarrassed, unless you're just like a very extrovert person and you love talking. Traditionally, right? Elevator pitch, whole concept of that, right? If you're in an elevator ride and you only have that time of the ride to pitch yourself, this is what they limit it down to, about 30 seconds traditionally. Now this is like the staple standard, tried and true. More recently, though, as attention spans have shrunk, the more modern research will tell you have 8 seconds to engage. Okay, so what are the highlights? What are the bullet points? How can you pitch yourself in 8 seconds? It's very simple. Name, what you do, and one of two things to close on: a call to action, or if it's a conversational tone, ask them a question. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Hi, my name is Ryan. I'm a realtor at Pinnacle Real Estate Group. And if you're going to go call to action and you have a business card, I'm currently opening to taking on new clients, both buyers and sellers. Here's my card. Please feel free to give me a call, set up an appointment.
Yep.
Love to learn more about you.
Super easy, super straight to the point.
Right. And if you're going to do a conversational tone, hi, my name is Ryan. I'm a realtor. I work out of the Arcadia office. What do you do? Very simple. Like if you're trying to make sure that you're engaging with them because you want to learn more about them, because you don't know if they're working at the bank or they're one of the clients in the community, or if they're a teacher at a school or something. You don't know where the next client's going to come from. You can't be prejudiced to think that you're going to prejudge a situation and eliminate yourself from open opportunity. So if you're in a conversational tone, or you're co-networking, or you're at a mixer, you want to make sure that you're not just constantly talking about yourself. Hey, here's my name. This is what I do. Maybe 1 or 2 specific facts about what you do. Keep it short. You have 8 seconds, and then either hand them the card and call to action for a follow-up, or engage them and ask them a question. That's the quickest way I could break this down for you, is just like a marketing starter kit overview scenario.
I agree. Get the essential information out there and just start listening.
Yeah, I mean, and there's different ways that you can play it out. You'll find your rhythm. The point is, you got to go do it, and then you got to find out what feels comfortable for you to say. Once you get that going, you'll be able to be out there and network yourself stronger, more confidently, but it's just a matter of practice. All right, so that's all the traditional in-person type of networking. Now, let's bring the technology in. Okay.
Nerdy time.
The nerd time, right? We have other ways to network now, and a lot of it is on a digital landscape. So we talked about business cards before, what the purpose of a print business card still, what the purpose of a print business card can be, and what still reigns true about it. But for the technical, nerdy side of it, we do have digital business cards.
There's some advancements in business cards too.
Yes. So let's talk about that for a quick second. So if you go to Google right now and search digital business cards, you are not going to find a shortage of companies that want to market digital business cards to you.
Many brands out there making all kinds of different digital business cards now.
And I'll give you some examples, right? Because we're not getting paid for any of these to drop any names. Dot, Popple, Blink. Those are just 3 of the top hundreds that are out there right now that you actually could sign up with. I've even watched YouTube videos where people make their own because they're just ordering the NFC tags themselves. But let me slow down. NFC, what is that? It stands for near field communication. So that's the little chip that's actually in the card if you order a physical card that people can scan with their phones.
It's the same technology you use every day now for grocery shopping. Your Google Pay, your Apple Pay, everything is in the phone that has a little bit of radio receiver. That's pretty much what is scanning the codes or scanning the wave from that little new digital business cards.
So all of this is instead of you going and paying at the grocery store with your Google or Apple Pay, you're going to be scanning a business card instead of scanning your debit card at the register. And the phone is going to receive the information that's stored on that NFC card, in that little chip that's in that card. And Brian mentioned this before. It's radio waves.
Yep, it's radio waves. So it has its benefits. So I'll cut in here a little bit.
Sure.
Digital marketing, digital business cards. We can see it in a couple different forms, actually, besides from actual physical card. I've seen people use QR codes. As we mentioned, Pinnacle agents actually have a chance to put their QR codes on their business cards as well. And there's also people who have their own websites that they want to market out. Imagine you're in a mixer event. You're talking with a potential client. You're introducing yourself. You try to give them your information, your contact information. If you are using the method of QR code, if they don't have if they don't have network, that's essentially a fail, because you need network connectivities in order to scan whatever is provided by a QR code. And there's also the hassle of you telling them your entire website address domain to them, because first of all, they have to type it out.
Or you can say, I'm going to text you. What's your number? Let me type in your number. Let me get the URL. And again, if you're running into network issues, you can't quickly address that.
Remember the elevator pitch. Well, old school ways tells you have 30 seconds. Nowadays, you have about 8 seconds. You're not going to spend the very, very precious 8 seconds on just simply, putting their phone numbers in. You get nothing done besides giving them your website.
Yeah, and you got to really figure out what is the smoothest and cleanest way to communicate and offer this information so they leave with you. So let's go back to your example. I think you had a good breakdown of this, Ryan. You're in a mixer situation. You have a potential prospect or a client. You bring out an NFC card. You scan it to their phone like you do at the register at Ralph's or Kroger's, and in seconds, your contact information, your name,
loaded up.
Your phone number, your company, your website, if you have one, is directly loaded into their contact instantly.
Yep.
And that is the quickest and cleanest and most efficient way that you could actually transfer that information without stalling to say, well, write your name down, or here's my card, make sure you call me. None of that is bad. None of that is bad. And if that's all you have, great, use that. But there is a more efficient way to do it. Technology has allowed these opportunities, and most of these platforms are free to start. You can sign up for them, and really the cost that you're going to be paying is one of two things. One, you're going to actually pay to get your card, which is anywhere from like $20 to $60, depending on what you're going to, at the time of this recording, and depending on how customized you want it.
Yep.
And then if you want to pay a nominal monthly fee, a few dollars a month, you can track the stats of how many times the card gets scanned, things like that.
And where did they scan?
Yeah, location, geotags. But if you don't need that any of that information, and you just want to order the card just so you can have the one card that you have people scan on all their phones, this is one thing that you may want to consider, because this one card replaces the batch of several hundred.
Yeah, it has cost benefits too. Like order a single card could eliminate all your future costs of printing, because a batch of business cards nowadays cost, well, good quality paper ones range about $20 to $60 too, and that's only limited amount of use for a few hundred. And with that NFC card, you can scan almost indefinitely.
Yeah, and those are some of the benefits that you can and you should factor in, even as an entrepreneur, where your cost opportunity. If you're
cost of business.
If you got $50-$60 to promote yourself, and that's really what you're down to, and you got to pick a card, you have to weigh out how you would actually functionally use the card. Okay, so. And that's part of knowing your audience and knowing the demographic that you're going to be selling to. So if you're working in a lot of cities where there's a lot of younger buyers, the NFC route may be more culturally appropriate, because that's technology that they're native to.
Yeah.
right?
They understand it and they know what's going on.
Yeah, and if you're going to go work a neighborhood where it's older demographics that may be more prone to the tried and true of the paper,
Yeah.
maybe that's where you want to go. It depends on your brokerage, what the current client where the current client base is, but also the areas that you're choosing to work in.
Mm-hmm. I remember I have to teach my mom how to use the TV remote. So definitely, if I'm handling a client such as my mom, I'm giving her the physical business card.
Right. So all things to consider. We're just trying to provide some options for you to kind of pay attention to and make sure that you're that you know what's out there, so you can do some more research and see what's best suited for you. Now, we're talking about networking. We're talking about on the digital side. One thing that I do get a lot of questions about, especially with new agents, is websites. Some brokerages provide dynamic pages on their company website. Usually you have to be with the company for some period of time or have had a certain amount of transactions under your belt to kind of unlock that feature, so to speak. But then you have some real go-getters that want to build their own website.
Yeah.
And then another thing I get from a lot of new agents is, I don't have marketing background. It takes too much time. I don't know how to build a website. Okay, like I hear all that. This information is for the go-getters who want to figure it out. Whether you have any background or not, there are free versions of website starter kits that you can go and subscribe to for free that will give you some basic functions, right? So the first format of it is actually the digital business cards. A lot of them come with a custom URL where you can have really limited information, maybe a headshot, name, title, phone number, social media links, and that's pretty much it.
Yep. It's simple, but it provides essential information.
Exactly, because the goal is for you to have them contact you. Now, if you start on the website, there's a couple platforms that you should look into. If you have no experience, Weebly is one. Again, we get we're not paid or promoted for any of these promotions or names that we're dropping. Like, we make no money off of this. This is just for your information, so you can start doing your own research. Weebly is one that's on a very basic format. It's a drag and drop. You don't have to have any design or art background to really use this platform. There's a low learning curve, and there are free options for this plan. It's basically an e-commerce platform, but you can customize it to have a nice sounded website for a real estate agent. If you have some background, or you have a little bit of design, or you've got on Canva or Adobe, and you've messed around with some of those programs, and you understand some conceptual theories, or you have a design sense, and a technology sense, you like learning about some of this stuff, a mid-tier level would be Wix. Best overall, a lot of integrations, a lot of metrics that you could use, a lot of customization. They have some great templates to start off with, and you can get a custom domain through them, I think, for your first year. And most people have these perks. Yep. Most applications have these perks. But Ryan, we've used Wix here at Pinnacle. What's some of your feedback on that platform?
Well, in my personal experience, how flexible Wix is my favorite feature of Wix. Because I have used other website building applications. A lot of them are super limited when it comes to certain detailed designs for each section of your landing page. Just landing page itself. Such as the dimensions of the pictures, the dimension of the backgrounds, how are they automatically adjusted to your screen size? That was actually one of my favorite from Wix too, because when you're building it, especially a website nowadays, a lot of people use their phone to scroll stuff.
Right.
So how it can automatically give you a version of a mobile website, that is my favorite feature of it.
You know, it's so funny too. I had a full circle moment with Wix, because when I first, 10, 15 years ago, when I first started trying to look for simple visual editors, drag and drop editors, Wix has been around for quite a while. I personally did not like that feature that you're describing. Really? They have done a 360, or a 180, I should say, but they have really turned it around, because their mobile to desktop integrations now are vastly, it's like night and day. When I first started with them, you had to create two separate websites.
Oh yeah, see, that's one of the features why I loved it, because I don't have to create two websites now. They're automatically integrated.
And their mobile website looked terrible. Like everything that was on there was so, how could I describe it? Clunky. Like that was just the way that it was. But now with the customization and the smoothness of the applications, and again, we're getting no pay for any of these, but we're trying to give you the concept of what you should start looking at to research for and really look into the features of what you want, both for digital business cards and web platforms if you want to build your own website. Okay, so again, we're talking about marketing, networking, the starter kit, right? Where does an agent or a first-time entrepreneur really start? The next thing I want to get into a little bit is social media.
That's a big part of our lives now.
It more than I would like it to be, if I'm being honest. And this is someone who works in marketing. But here's the reality. I mentioned this on a different episode, and I'll mention it one more time. This information or this tidbit of advice is going to be a little bit controversial depending on who you ask. I am of the school of not opening all social media platforms, specifically if you do not have time to attend and manage them all. Now, back in the day when social media land was first being discovered and found, the name of the game was go buy your domain, go get every handle, make sure you claim your names, get it in every format. A new social media platform comes out, boom, okay, grab that handle, start integrating the content, recycle the content, make sure you're going. What people started slowly realizing over the last several years of how much of a full-time job that becomes within of itself. So now you as an entrepreneur who are not only doing every other aspect of your business, now are your own marketing team, my advice is this: stick to the one or several platforms that you realistically can manage. Why? Because the moment you create all these opportunities for people to engage with you, but you don't have the time to engage back, guess who loses trust with their brand and their brand recognition?
There are benefits of reaching more audiences, but there are also these advantages of reaching more audiences as well. And in the process of trying to reach more audiences, you might be slacking on one of them, and then it can tank that performance right away.
Okay, Ryan. So as an entrepreneur, time management's a big thing. We don't have a lot of time to maybe do a full blown out marketing plan to run multiple platforms, multiple social media accounts. If I have to boil it down to one, which is one that you would recommend that I could start to represent myself professionally in the marketplace?
If the entire goal is just to represent yourself professionally and actually market yourself towards the industry, there's that one platform I would recommend as a social media. It's called LinkedIn.
Facebook. Oh,
no.
so not Facebook.
Well, first of all, what the hell is Facebook? It's called Meta now. But I get it. As different generation goes, social medias are kind of in a different popularity between us.
Each demographic uses their own platform. Let's just say that.
Exactly, because Facebook is a social media platform that is very personal. Is where you would expect your relatives posting pictures of their pets instead of a professional in the industry that is marketing themselves as an entrepreneur or as a real estate agent.
So if I've only used Facebook before, what is LinkedIn? If I'm a newbie, right? What is LinkedIn? How do I get on it? What do I do? Just break it down on a very basic level for me, Ryan.
LinkedIn is a social media that I can build up a page that is like a resume, but in the social media format. So I can list out where have I go to school, where have I worked, and also what is my expertise in some sort of like in the industry. Maybe like, oh, I'm very good with Excels. That's actually one thing you can actually put on there. And for real estate agents, you can put your DRE license on display too. Well, first of all, that information is public already, but you can actually have the official stamp of DRE to put on there that actually have your license number too. So that kind of puts you on display that I am a professional real estate agent. Where you can utilize LinkedIn to your advantage when it comes to a real estate agent is the network capabilities of it.
Okay.
Because, for example, you can get reconnected with your university alumni.
Okay.
You can get reconnected with your previous, coworkers. Because Well, first of all, there are a good target because you either have met them face to face or you have, maybe crossed shoulders at some point.
You've already like established rapport with them. They know
There
you.
is,
who
yeah,
you
there
are.
is the familiarity and there is the somewhat of a pre-established trust. So as a real estate agent, that is a very, very good target for a lead.
So just to recap, Facebook's a little bit too personalized. LinkedIn is specifically for business acumen, business networking. It's more professional. So even though it may not be wrong necessarily to advertise on Facebook that I'm a realtor, the benefits may not be as high.
Well, yeah, because it's definitely more formal if all these connections are established on LinkedIn because there is no personal stuff on there.
And then you got to get lost in it too, right? Because like you're saying, if there's a lot of personal stuff on Facebook in my timeline, and then I notice like someone's trying to advertise professionally, it almost feels slightly out of place a little bit.
There is a good point right there. Because have heard stories about this, about how certain positions do require you to have a decent social media appearances. Like if you have a picture during your college years in Facebook, like getting drunk in the party, that could be bad rep for you to be not getting that position in whatever you're looking for.
I'll tell you this. I think a lot of people miss that opportunity to go back and almost like audit their social media. And this is kind of why you want to establish professional social media accounts, right? You don't want to necessarily convert your personalized ones into your professional, because sometimes that auditing, if you've had these accounts for a long time, can take quite a while.
But yeah, definitely. So it as I said before, in itself, LinkedIn it's kind of like a resume. It is where you can find resumes for brokerages too. It's a good tool if you're starting out as a real estate agent, you're looking for a brokerage to join. You can use LinkedIn to see the brokerages in your area, to see if they're actively on LinkedIn, to see if they have a professional and actually presentable page on LinkedIn. Use it to research what are these brokerages doing, what are they providing to their agents, what's their supports. Well, I'm not trying to do a sellout, but go ahead and check out our page, Pinnacle Real Estate Group. We post our all the events that we are hosting at Arcadia headquarters, our monthly calendars, all the agents that is joining us. We give them a really, really warm welcome.
So from the user experience, if they come to our LinkedIn profile and they're newly licensed or maybe looking to switch brokerage, they can see how active our calendar is. They can see what we have going on. And I would recommend, I think you brought up a good point, Ryan. I'd also recommend that if you are looking for a new brokerage, that you visit their Facebook. And I'll tell you this little story and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I was at the car dealership last week, and I was talking to the sales guy. We were working out a deal. And I was asking him, how did you end up at this specific car dealership? Because he had mentioned something about him being in the industry for about 10 years, on and off 10 years. And I'm like, so you were at, he was at Honda for quite a while, and then he went over to this other dealership. And I said, what did they do to get you? How did they, like, I don't want to be cheesy and say, how did they close you? But what it came down to for him is he's like, a lot of the dealerships I worked with before, they were very old school. They did a lot of old school approaches. This dealership had the technology to do more updated marketing. Something as simple as he mentioned as just being able to do text campaigns, SMS campaigns, right? But that dealership already had the system implemented, so he could onboard and get into that because that's native to how he communicates, right? So LinkedIn kind of ties back to that, because if you're looking at a brokerage and they don't have a LinkedIn profile, or they're not on a digital platform that you would prefer to use, or they don't even have a well-polished website,
it's a sign they're outdated and they're not keeping up with the market.
Exactly. And so you want to make sure you pay attention to that, because it is going to be a true indicator of how tech forward that company is in the style of how they conduct business, and also the resources that they have available.
Yeah, I agree.
Ryan, once again, thank you. I think hopefully this has been a very helpful episode to our new agents and our new to Pinnacle agents, and any other entrepreneur that's looking to get started with some of the marketing if they found or stumbled upon this content. So again, Ryan, I would like to say thank you for making time. Appreciate you being back here and doing some of this digging and research with me, and bringing forth the voice of our agents and what their needs are and what they're looking for.
Absolutely. I think we share a lot of interest when it comes to nerdy stuff as well. So these conversations is absolutely delightful.
All right, you guys. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Pinnacle Real Estate Group presents The Key Turners with hosts Ryan and Matthew. Key turns agents need to turn more keys. For more information, please visit our website, preg365.com.